Aloha and happy holidays from our wonderful 365 team who are going to give you the island-wide update today. And we are going to be hearing from our amazing people. We have Eric Ziemelis, who's also with Real Broker with me. We've got Amber Haley from East Hawaii, who's also with Real Broker. And then we got Andy Madrid, who is with KW. And also we've got Jana Mahoney, who's with KW as well. And we are missing our mortgage person today a little bit, but they're going to do Joe Egan's going to do a specialized mortgage update for you guys in the first part of January. So we are going to give you what's happening around the whole island as we look at November statistics and also what the trends are and what our people are seeing right now in the market. So let's start with Amber Haley, who will be giving us the wonderful East update. Go for it, Amber.
All right, aloha, everybody from the cold, rainy east side of the Big Island. It's like been in the 60s over here this week. Unacceptable. Okay, so real estate. We are going to talk about the stats from the Puna District and the South Hilo District. And the data that I'm sharing with you today is barely what we saw for all of the sales for single-family homes for the full month of November. So that's the data we're pulling. And let's start with Puna. So the median home price in Puna was $365,000. You compare that to the month previous, it's a little bit higher because the month before it was $360,000. And then 1 year ago, it was $359,000. So that's your monthly comparison there. We don't have a whole lot of change in the Puna District, gone up a little bit. As far as days on market go, average days on market is 56 days. And that was for the 65 single family homes that sold in the Puna District. That is shorter than the month before. So the market did pick back up a little bit. 67 days on market is what we saw the month previous. And 52 days on the market was what we were looking at a year ago at this time when we did your final market update. So that's kind of interesting stuff. And things I expect that as we go into 2024, that we might even start to see less days on the market if we start to shift maybe toward more of a buyer's market, depending on how many buyers decide to jump back in with the lowering of rates. We'll see. All right. Let's see. We got days on market. Let's talk about your list of sales price. So if you were to sell your home right now, or you were to make an offer on a home, what do you need to offer? How much above or below list price? In Puna, 93.51%. List to sales price is what those 65 single family homes sold at. And that is almost exactly where we were at the month before and just slightly lower than where we were at a year ago. Now let's look at South Hilo. There were 19 single family homes that sold in the month of November. And the median price was $475,000. And that's actually down a little bit. So it's the opposite of the Puna District, down a little bit from the month previous where it was $565,000. And 1 year ago, it was $536,000 for your median single family home price. So we are down a little bit from a year ago too. But again, there were only 19 homes that sold in November of this year. Compare that to a year ago where there were 26 homes for sale. So overall, we are seeing less activity on the market. That's been the trend all year long. No surprises there. That will probably continue to be a trend, although I do see things picking back up slowly, probably throughout next year, but we'll see. We'll let you know because we'll keep doing these market updates for you. Okay, list to sales price. Here's an interesting statistic for you. From the month of November, the list to sales price in the South Hilo District was 104%. So on average, the final price for most of those was a little bit above asking price. There are not a lot of properties for sale in the South Hilo District, not as many compared to Puna, that's for sure. The month before, it was only just over 90%. So that was quite an increase from the previous month. And then a year ago, 92.8% list to sales price. So if you got a house that you want to sell in the South Hilo District, might be a great time to do it right now, especially with more buyers getting interested in jumping back in. I do expect, especially after the holidays and with the rates going down a little bit, that we will see more buyers coming in. So good to know if you're a seller And as far as days on market go for South Hilo, we saw 60 days on market for the average in November, and that is less than the month before where it was 71. So just like in Puna, the market was moving a little bit quicker in November. And then it's about the same as a year ago where we had 57 days on market on average in the South Hilo district. So there's your overall stats. As far as market activity, I'm going to tell you guys a little bit really fast just for fun about where most of the sales are happening, and that's in the Puna district. And one of the most popular neighborhoods there is Hawaiian Paradise Park, where we have homes that are in LUVA Zone 3, which makes it very, very popular. 63 active listings right now, the lowest being $159,000 for a single family home, and the highest being $2,099,000. So quite a range of homes for sale in the Puna district. And as you can see, there are a lot of homes listed above the median price, which is in the 300,000s. HPP has the listing over $2 million right now. So that's kind of interesting there with that neighborhood, 63 homes for sale in Hawaiian Paradise Park alone. So if you are a buyer on the Big Island and maybe you're priced out of another part of the state, another part of the Big Island, come check out East Hawaii and especially the Puna district.
Awesome. Good job, dude. So also if you are watching us and you haven't gotten a chance to catch some of the other videos that we've done, we did a car karaoke tour of East Hawaii recently in one of our videos, and Eric and I and Amber went bouncing around the roads of East Hawaii. So check that out if you guys actually want to see what some HPP, Oregon Land Estates, and Ainaloa look like. And we're hoping they were going to do that with Jana down in Waikoloa, the Waikoloa Village area. And Andy might be a fun one to go bouncing around down and seeing what looks like in Discovery Harbor and points around there too. So in 2024, we're going to try and get on the road to show you guys more of what these houses and neighborhoods look like. Thank you, Amber. I totally appreciate your report there. So Andy, are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and it looks like our buddy Lance is going to be popping in here for a second. So Andy, there you go. Hi, Lance. Is he moving? Is that him?
My microphone will be okay.
Oh, Lance.
So,
So let me put you on spotlight there, my friend. Show everybody how wonderful you look. There you go. Okay, it's Andy Big.
hey everyone. So what's happening in the Ka'u, the south part of the island? In November, prices were down. The average price for a home was $317,000. So that's down from October, where we were at $394,500. And but we're up over 2022, where the average price for November was $276,500. Sales have been pretty slow. This month we've had, this month I'm talking, for the month of November, we had 14 sales. We had 16 sales in the month of October, but 13 sales in November this time last year. So sales are up, although the volume just hasn't been there. Sales price, those price ratios on those, and these are residential. This is not land, because we have a lot of land out here. 91 or 94.91% sales price list price ratio on the residential sales in Ka'u. Compared with October, we are up. October it was 92.71%, and in 2022 it was 95.65%. And our average days on market is about 100 days right now. In land, land prices are up. $24,000 for a piece of land on average. Compared to October, it was $19,750, and in 2022 it was $20,500. So land sales are, and they're brisk. 45 sales during the month of November on vacant land. I think I closed 6 pieces of land during the month of November, and 34 during the month of October, and 48. So a little bit less than we did same time last year in November. It's still a really value oriented area. And a lot of people that are coming out here that are retiring, um, people that are just kind of want to get away from the rat race, whether it's the mainland or whether it's Honolulu. We have a lot of people that are looking out here to move, and prices are much lower than other parts of the island. And primarily that's because most of it's in lava zone two. And the numbers are a little bit low because one of our higher price neighborhoods, which is Discovery Harbor, we've had no sales. We had no closings during the month of October or November in that neighborhood. So this is primarily in the Ocean View, Hawaiian Ocean View Estates, Hawaiian Ocean View Ranchos, and then in the areas like Mark Twain Estates, which is on the South Point. And that's kind of what's happening.
Okay. Hey, so Andy, are you seeing that more like one buyer would buy numerous pieces of land, or is it really one person, one person, one person?
No, it's usually like I know one buyer that they bought one and before the escrow closed, they put another one in escrow.
Mm,
It's usually a couple.
okay.
Um, there'll be someone coming out and they'll usually buying a couple at the same time.
Yeah. Now, are they trying to do spec housing or commercial on like, is this like stuff that's houses that are like in the middle of nowhere, or is this like,
It's Ocean View, so it can't be in the middle of nowhere. There's a lot of people that's doing buy and hold right now. I had people that were buying from Los Angeles. I was like, what are you looking for? Well, we just want to buy something to hang on to it. We just want to own property in Hawaii. They really have no intention of doing anything with it. They just want to own it, wait for it to appreciate, and then eventually they'll sell it.
Oh, okay. So investment kind
That's
of
the plan.
concept.
Most people that are buying land, if they're not buying and holding it, they're going to buy it with the idea of putting a tiny home on it.
Okay.
It'll be an unpermitted structure, and it's we don't really have anybody that's buying and going to build, with a few exceptions. Most people are not buying and building a spec home on it. They're going to turn around and sell.
Yeah, yeah. It's interesting because Eric and I are getting retirement age, and I'm thinking, what's a kind of an affordable way to live your life? You go to some place like out in the middle of the desert, and you get your little tiny home, and you sit there like basically free of all the stuff. And I was thinking, but you can do that right there in Ocean View as well. You're off grid, right? You get an inexpensive piece of land. You put your little house on there. You get an ocean view, and you don't have to worry about heating or cooling all year long.
Well, so to give you an example, I mean, I'm not off grid. I have on grid power.
Mhm.
We don't have, I mean, Hawaii, I mean, it's rare to get a house that's got heating built in,
Mhm.
central heat or something, and we don't. I use space heaters, and that kind of racks up the electric bill. But it was 51 degrees 2 days ago
It's
here.
cold today too.
It's cold. It's cold. It's cold everywhere right now. But yeah, 50
Yeah.
right now on average, it's been about 59 or 60 in the morning when I get up.
Yeah, Lance is like he's wearing a sweatshirt.
Oh yeah, I was in a sweatshirt all day yesterday.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I just saw we ran into a woman that moved here from Wisconsin, and she just cannot believe how much better her life is just right now, not freezing her ass off.
Oh yeah, I like people say it's cold. I'm like, okay, it's not cold. I have friends that live on the east side, and they're like, it's really cold here. I'm like, well, what is it? There's 71. I'm like, oh please, come over to my house.
Yeah,
Not,
51.
not,
Wee.
51 degrees. Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. Okay, thank you, Andy. Okay, so let's bop over to the other side of the island and have Jana Mahoney give us an update of what's going on in Waikoloa and Waikoloa Village. Jana.
Okay, aloha. So it's 73 degrees here right now, so I had to change into a shirt with sleeves because we were kind of cold too. And it dropped down into the 60s last night, so we had to find a blanket. Anyway, let's talk about real estate in Waikoloa Village and Monolani. And good news, there are 35 active residential listings right now. So
Ooh.
that's nice. Yeah. 5 of those are in Monolani, 30 are in Waikoloa Village. And of those 30, 17 are greater than a month. So we've got quite a few new listings in Waikoloa Village, which is exciting. It's the first time we've said that for a while. So of these 35, you've got a range from 657 to 21 million. So pretty big range. I don't know if the median's going to mean anything at all. Last month, there were 5 that were sold in that area from 925 to 3 million. Average days on market was 78. Last November, there were 2, and one was 670 and one was 11,900,000. So again, there's nothing significant that you can say about the averages because, 125, it was just weird last year. But the one thing I can tell you too is that the sales price compared to the original was 75.5%. So, but if you only have 2, then that's not significant. It's like one of them went under. So that's how that worked. Condos in that same area, there are 21 right now, 21 active listings, 8 in Waikoloa Village, 13 in Matalani, 5 sold last month. And so, you're between 360,000 and 3,250,000. Days on market were 4. In November of 2022, there were 6 that were sold, 515 to 2,595,000, and the days on market were 31. So they went from 31 to 4.
4. This is happening right now. There's 4 days on the market.
Right.
Wow.
Right. But there were only 5. Okay. So there weren't that many, and the sales price compared to the original listing price was 97%. So it's pretty close. Let's see. Okay. Next one I have is the Waikoloa Resort condos. And there are actually 10 on the market right now. And 5 of those 10 are Kohala.
Ooh.
Yeah. 5 out of the 10 in Waikoloa Resort right now are Kohala.
So what does that mean? Does that mean that people are saying goodbye to their investment property?
Well, I mean, they're the higher priced ones for sure. So Kohala is like 2.8 to 4.2, where all the rest are like 730 to 2,190,000. So, you've definitely got the higher priced ones that are going on the market in Waikoloa Resort. Average days on market right now is 69. So we are seeing longer days on market there. Last month, we had 3 that were sold in the Waikoloa Resort condos with an average days on market of 34, hovering right around $1 million. November of 2022, there were only 2 that were sold. Same thing, 995 and 1,090,000, but the average days on market then was 84.
Ooh.
So yeah. So that's what happened with the resorts. And of course, Puako, there are 4, and they're the same 4 that I talked about last month. There's no new ones, nothing sold in 2022. So it's kind of the same song this week. And I added something. I went in and pulled up Mauna Kea. So you have the Waikoloa Resort, then you have Matalani, and as you keep going north, then you run into Mauna Kea. So I pulled out that you have 4 active residences in Mauna Kea right now, and they range from 5,349 for the lowest to 8,995,000 for the highest price. And the average days on market there is 111 days. So you've got 1 new one, and with the condos at Mauna Kea, there are 4. They range from 2,595,000 to 4,660,000. 0 sold last month. And in November 2022, we had 1 sell at the villas at Mauna Kea. And so it's pretty low. It's, there's not a ton of inventory, and it's just kind of slow there. So
low and slow.
Exactly. Yeah.
Interesting. I wonder what's going on. I'm wondering that, maybe it's the time of year. Is just people with the interest rates? Usually those kinds of people are usually like cash buyers because they're usually more the investors. So you kind of say, maybe they're thinking, let's see what goes. Because, again, if they're using it for vacation rentals, maybe, they're looking at what's going on with the tourism industry. So.
Well, and all 3 of those, Waikoloa Resort, Matalani Resort, and Mauna Kea Resort, all those condos are going to be short-term vacation rentals. Eligible. They can if they want to. So some people live there full time, some people are snowbirds, and some people just have them as investment properties.
Mhm.
When you move up to Waikoloa Village, it's a different story, but they kind of all are interesting to the investment markets when they're in their resorts.
Yeah.
I think.
Well, it's good to see that things are cooking up in Waikoloa Village as well, because
Yes, it is.
yeah, that's good for you.
Happy to see a few more options up here. It's nice.
Yeah, yeah. And then are you getting phone calls from people? Are there more people coming into the market now, or?
I think that right before Christmas, it's kind of a slow time
Yeah.
always. I'm still getting some calls though. I mean, there's still some interest, still people talking. People are still going to want to buy and sell. But yeah, it's kind of slow right now.
Okay, okay. Okay, then let's see what's going on down in Kona, and let's see if we can highlight my little buddy here. Let's see. Give Lance the spotlight, and there he is in the boardroom.
Hey guys, thanks. Did Eric give us an update already? Did I miss anything on
No,
the
no. You go, and then Eric will fill in with any information he found out that you do not cover. And we have a member of the public coming in. Hold on. Okay, here we go. So behave yourselves, everybody. Jim's here. Okay. Okay. So give us what's going on in West Hawaii. This is Lance Owens with LUVA Real Estate.
I feel a little bit of disadvantage because I'm always talking about how I feel by the seat of my pants. And I know Julie and Eric know I've been gone most of the last 2 months. So my seat of the pants judgment is a little bit off. So I'm going by the black and white numbers. I pulled, and what we got going on here is right now, today, we have in residential sales, we have 90 active right now. So we've been running, 90, 96, somewhere in there, 85 to 95 basically all year long. So we're at 90 today. We are at average days on the market for those that are active right now are 73 days, average days in the market there. Condos were at 70 active, so that number's up. We haven't seen 70, I don't think, for a while. And the average number of days for those active right now, and I'm sorry, median is the number of days was for the last one, and this one is 56. Since we are so close to the end of the year, I'm not going to give the month over month numbers. End of the year, we are up in homes 8.64%. And last year to date, we were at $1,075,000 was the median price on homes. Today, we're at 1.169 million year to date on the price of a home in Kona.
So that's up 8% year over year in terms of pricing.
Year over year, yes.
Wow.
And the last week of December here, that's a really good barometer, to use with what's happening.
Okay.
What's happening year long here. So that's good. Condos are interesting. They're exactly flat today. So it is year to date last year versus year to date this year was a 550 and 550. So it's exactly
okay.
flat line. So so I thought that was a very interesting number. The number of sales are down 27% on homes year to date, and that's a whole quarter. That's over a quarter of the amount of sales. And then the amount of condos are down 24%. So again, we're off basically a quarter of the amount of sales that we had. And the year prior wasn't a stellar year either. It wasn't like 21, 22 type thing. So.
And sales are down because also there's not a lot of inventory.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't one follow the other?
Yeah.
Right. So if you don't have a lot to sell, then we're not selling a lot. So therefore that's down, right?
But part of the thing, remember in 22, we didn't have a lot of inventory too, but we had a ton in escrow, right? And so I don't have that number. It'd be interesting to look at that moment in time, how many were in escrow, because after looking at it in a little bit longer term, our problem, we had the inventory that we always had, but we didn't count the fact that so many of them were in escrow.
Oh.
So we truly have an inventory problem now more so than before.
Okay. We were at the broker meeting. That's not this week, the week before that. And there was 14 new houses on market. And then this week it was like 4. But last week when there was like 14 new people, I thought, wow, look at inventories, loosening up. A bunch of people are dumping their houses on the market for the holidays. But I think maybe just obviously because it's the week before Christmas, not a lot's going on right now. But there's I saw one for 840 that went on today, all the way up to like 2 or 3 million. So we're getting a little bit of like different kinds of homes. But just not a lot of them, right?
Right. And a quick plug is we are working on 3 on the other side of the island, Amber and and maybe Jana. I don't know. We got one we're working on in Ohualoa, one just outside of Kalopa State Park, and one literally 300 feet outside, I think, the boundaries of Waimea. And it's a 40 acres. So the other 2 are like 5 or 6 acres, and the other one we're working on is 40 acres. So
Wow.
those will be the next 2 weeks, 3 weeks max.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look at land is cooking.
Mhm.
Andy was saying that with his thing that a lot of land is being sold right now.
The Kalopa one it's a garage. Somebody built a garage, a nice, new garage, and they were going to live in it while they built their home. So the garage is livable, bathroom. They put in a makeshift kitchen right now, and somebody's living in there. And then the Ohualoa one's a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, little A-frame, and then the one just outside of Waimea is over 5,000 square foot monster McMansion thing.
Oh, there we go. Hey, are you listing all of those?
Yeah, we'll be co-listing the big one, the monster one.
Okay. That's a good little plug. And also other realtors in the space here. If you have homes for sale right now, please let people know what you have for sale. It gives people an opportunity to see kind of what we're in charge of. Eric and I actually are under escrow in a single family home with a family that actually lives here and actually works here, and we are so happy they'll be closing escrow a few days after the new year. So, but if not, we're looking for new buyers. If you guys want to, we all do real estate. We all like new business for 2024. But Eric, do you have anything else to add to the Kona experience?
I would say that Lance did an excellent job of covering all the bases, much better than I could. So we'll give Lance a little call and we'll call it done.
That's
Sure, I'll do that, Dewey. Thank you.
And Jim, I see that you're here. One of our people from our little, Ohana here. If you have any questions about what's coming up for this new year, like go ahead and drop it in the chat. And also speaking of that, if you do want to join us live on our Zooms, join our Ohana, and you guys can get access to our link that we put out, so you guys can be part of the whole experience. And those of you on YouTube, we have had some great numbers. You guys have been watching. We have an average of almost 400 people watching these every month. And so we hope that we've been helpful to all of you. And don't forget that the people that we do bring on this show are experts in their neighborhoods. Andy and I recently had an experience where somebody decided that they really wanted to work with me, but they were going to work completely outside of my zone of expertise. And I said, I can't be an expert on the whole big island of Hawaii. None of us can be, really. So I give people these opportunities to meet with my people here because they're experts. Amber is amazing in Puna and East Hawaii, and Andy covers all of Ocean View, all the way, Mountain View, Volcano, a huge swaths of land. And then Jana can take you from Waikoloa Village all the way up actually into Waimea, right? And if you really wanted to, up into the North Hawaii region. And then Lance, I mean, all the way down into South Kona, all the way. He does in fact, Lance is like South Kona dude, all the way up to all the things that have to do with Kona. And obviously, like, he's listing a few different parts of the island. But and Eric and I love to help people move into the Kona area because that's our expertise. We'll give everybody else everything else. But we are very, very blessed with having good people to refer you to. And so what I'd like to say is that we hope that lower interest rates are going to help more people be able to make their dreams come true by moving. And I'm just going to ask our wonderful realm of realtor friends here. Do you guys actually think that the interest rates are going to consistently go down this next year? I've heard double bags of no, they're not. And some people say they could go down 3 times, and we're going to get a definitive answer when we do our mortgage update. But what do you guys think is going to happen? What are you guys hearing out there?
I think that rates are going to go down, particularly in the second half of 2024.
Second half, so summer.
Yeah, but I think what we're going to see is we're going to continue to see marginal increases in the home prices. I mean, even in the face of interest rates going up, I mean, home prices increased. I mean, there were some areas that are softening, but according to, I mean, I just pulled something today. According to Redfin, overall across the state, home prices were up, even in the face of these interest rates. And but the sales volume was down because sellers weren't moving. It's like, what are they going to do? Trade their low interest rate for a high interest rate? They were down, I think they said on average like 13.4%. But prices were up. I think we're going to continue to see supply issues. There'll be more demand, particularly as interest rates do come down, which I think generally the general public thinks that the rates are going to come down a little bit. And we'll see, like, again, a more of a decrease in the rate in the latter part of the year. And sellers can get off the fence. We'll see more property being available, but you're also going to see that get swallowed up by buyers. I just think we're going to continue to see an increase in home prices in 2024.
So in that, and I'll let everyone else speak as well. Now would be a better time to do something now and get a house without competing with everybody else. If the prices are going to go up, you're getting more buyers in the market by the end of the year.
And refinance. It's like the cliche statement of, it's where you buy the home and date the rape, or whatever they call, marry the home and date the rape. Well, now, get your house here now. And if you don't like the interest rate, I mean, you're not going to keep it forever.
Right. Right. And then Amber, you had something to say?
I don't know if I have that much new to say. I have read so many articles in this week alone about predictions for 2024. But I do think that the average rate probably for next year will be slightly lower than the average rate for this year. And that will probably, based on most of the predictions I've heard, maybe go even a little bit lower the year after. So I do think it is a good time, if you are a buyer, to jump in while there is less competition, ideally. Like you were saying.
That's a bold statement, Amber, there. It's gonna go. I was reading
statement.
I was somewhere I saw online. I was watching YouTube, and somebody was saying that they're predicting the interest rates to go always down to 5.5 to 6 is what they were saying sometime this year. So I'm curious to see if that one actually happens. And then again, I've heard the opposite of what Amber was saying. Is some people say it won't go down at all. So the answer is, it sounds like they really don't know where it's going.
Yeah, I have read that the Fed has said they were going to drop the rate 6 times in 2024. That's what I saw. I read
a game of what's it called?
I know. Now, whether they actually do it or not, who knows? And I think the same thing. It's like I've been doing the same thing, kind of like reading what the prognostications were for 2024, and some of them are like, why the real estate market will crash in 2024, and then the other ones are like, why it will not crash in 2024. But historically, interest rates do go down during an election year as well. So I think we've got the Fed saying that they're going to do that, plus we've got the election year. So I'm with the consensus that they're probably going to go down.
Yeah. I heard this is a good one, you guys, because if you've been around long enough and you actually see the rates over time, one guy said they're always an elevator going up and they're a staircase coming down. So Lance, do you have a thought on that one? Trends on what we're going to be doing here?
I think it's going to be going down slightly. I think we'll just see a slight. I don't think we'll see anything drastic. It was interesting while you guys were talking. I Googled it too, and I saw some that felt it was as low as 5, and that. But I don't see it coming in. Into, I think it was Andy. I'm not sure who was talking about the homes and what's going on, because that's one of the things when I was in Anaheim with NXT. Lawrence Yun was saying, people. Last year, his prediction was there'd be less divorces because everybody loved their interest rate. They hated their spouse, but they loved their interest rate. Well, that couple have been living in separate sides of the homes for a year now, and they're really getting sick of each other. And they're going to be selling their homes, and they are going to be putting on the market. So he did predict that the inventory would come up some, but if the rates are dropping, there goes the inventory increase that we may see from.
Because then the buyers flood the market.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like kind of like You know, when you throw a ball in the air and it does that hang, trying to
Yeah.
catch it on the hang. So I think we're almost at that point, right? I mean, right after the holidays, before everyone jumps in for the spring market, and before they drop the rates again, that anything that you can get into, I think, in the first part of the year before everyone starts going for it again in the spring and the summer might be an opportunity to like actually compete in this market. Sure.
I would say right now I'm really busy. I mean, I've got, I mean, whether it's vacant land and it's like I just listed an oceanfront parcel. I got an offer on it, 3 days after listing, on that property. And I've got a couple of other ones that are really solid. There are a lot of people out there right now that are still buying.
So I can comment on that too. We have a buyer that's looking out there, and the house they were looking at was sort of a fixer upper. It was, and they could only show it they had a specific time to show it. Well, we got there during that 2 hours of showing, and they had 4 showings for that time, and they had an offer on the table by the next morning. So it was and it was done. So it just shows you that says that there are people looking.
Yeah. And I'm going to give you guys all a little bit of a hit here, guys. If you think you're looking for a rockin' deal on a house in Hawaii, and you think that, oh, okay, if the median price, Lance, you said was 1.12 or something for a house in Hawaii, right? So 1.1, right? Let's say in Kona, 1.112. That's your average house, right? So if you see a house for $870,000, it's not going to be your prime kind of home, but I'm going to tell you, you're going to be competing with a bunch of other people out there. And this house that we saw was about 870, 880 or something. And it went contingent a day because there's not a lot of inventory that's under those price ranges of $1 million right now. So you are going to be competing because I know there's a bunch of buyers who cannot spend $1 million on a house, but yet they still want to live in Hawaii. So they are circling like buzzards looking for low price housing. Lance?
What did you think about that one? Did you go by it today on your street, or you probably been by it? I noticed it's been on the market 50 days, but
The Dilly Ching one?
one three, and it's got the upstairs and down split up to where you could have a couple different rentals
It
out
needs a
of it.
lot of help. It does. It needs a lot of help. That house is,
It's like dated original. It's got the old soji doors,
and it's got funky layout.
Yeah, the layout is very unusual on that house. So yeah, I'm curious to see how it goes. It's been 50 days is a long time. I assume they had a price break on it. Is that it sounds like they did because I remember it was higher.
I didn't look
Not
at that. I know they did have an offer on it already, but like you say, 50 days on there. I'll look at that. But yeah,
Yeah.
what a deal you guys got.
Yeah, there's a one down the street from that too that went back on the market. So what I'm seeing too is that I was looking at the hot sheet. We call these things a hot sheet to tell you what's going on. I've seen price decreases for quite a few people, and then some are being taken off the market, and then some are coming back in with lower prices. So the ones that are, we always talk about this, if the house is priced correctly and it's a good house, it goes quickly. If it is something that needs a lot of work or it's kind of funky, and it's priced too high, it sits there. And so if you're trying to sell a house, realize what you got, and the buyers are picky. We got some picky buyers out there. And then it also, but the way that, like what we offer, and people are not stupid, buyers know what a deal looks like. They're also looking at all the different inventory out there, and they know what they're looking at. This is a very, people who are living in, trying to buy in Hawaii, I think is a very educated group of humans that have done a lot of research. And so they can tell you what houses are worth. So, I think that's what you were kind of competing against with our buyers too. So.
I mean, I still think that there's going to be people that are out there to lowball deals, but I look at I keep my list of escrows kind of in a spreadsheet. All of my buyers, and actually for all of the residential deals that I have in escrow right now, the buyer either paid full price for the property, or we were within $5,000 of ask of the list price. So that's not a lot, and we're talking about homes that are $600,000 and $700,000, and the seller's only giving up $5,000 to make the deal work. And in one case, I mean, it was full price, and I have buyers on that. So it was interesting because Redfin again, they talk about, they talk about Hawaii as a whole. They don't break it down into all the different districts in the island, actually. And they said that in 2023, 21.7% of the homes that sold over asking price.
21%.
21.7%. almost 22%.
Okay. Which is about what you think about the housing stock. We got 20% that are beautiful, great, amazing houses. So,
So
yeah.
a couple things pieces of information I wanted to share that are not specific housing market related, but I want to talk about design trends.
Oh, okay. Design trends.
And 2024. Okay, so in 2023, a lot of that was marked by, a lot of white, clean design, minimalism, shiplap, and fast furniture. And I'm thinking, inexpensive, and a homeowner doing a DIY take on what we're seeing on these home design shows. So interesting, and I've read it a couple of different times, and I looked up what's happening in Hawaii, which is Hawaii's following the national design trend. For 2024, we're going to see a shift to more tried and true finishes, higher end looks, higher quality, heirloom, and investment pieces. Think quartz, think vintage furniture, rich wallpapers, cozy and divided interior spaces, bold colors, and design choices.
Huh.
So whether you're contemporary or modern or mid-century or boho chic, I mean, that's kind of where we're going to go to. I think people have seen, just like fast casual clothing, it goes mostly for women. I mean, I wear something for years and years and years, but you can get something off one of these stores and it's in and out in less than a year. But we're seeing people that are really going to invest in more quality and more statement pieces for their home, because those finishes and those looks are going to last. And they're saying, okay, what we saw a lot in 2023 was kind of here and gone. I mean, I think of like Magnolia Farms and shiplap till the cows come home. That design show that did that. So yeah, it was kind of interesting to read about that. I was looking at something, I wanted to see if there was something that I thought was applicable, but not specifically real estate, market stuff. But
that's good. I was joking with Amber when we were looking at new construction in HPP that I think that there's three guys that must be doing it all, because they all use the exact same countertops, which is those. Was it quartzite?
Look,
yeah,
a belly band around it.
Yeah, it's like the white with those things through it. Yeah. So I'm thinking, I was telling Eric that when we walked into these houses, someday people are going to say, "Oh, I guess you bought it in 2023," because it was going to be so dated. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah. There's a really great builder in HPP. I sold one of his homes, and I told him I was so impressed with his workmanship that if I was getting a home built, he would be the man that would do it, because he can take the generic package build that you would get from, like HPM, and he doesn't do what every other builder's doing. He's selectively clearing the lot, leaving the trees and the foliage, and getting the house sit on the lot as opposed to ripping it flat with cinder, and then going in there and putting in really nice grade furniture and cabinetries, that's going in, and inlaid countertops, not just like the builder grade. Yeah, I saw that house, and you go pick the house on that street, this street, and that street, and they're all interchangeable. They all look. You could drop them in San Antonio, Texas, and you wouldn't even know it.
Yeah, that's true. And speaking of new construction, I want to give Jana a chance to talk a little bit, because we were showing people around houses, and they're like, "Oh, just so you guys know, I don't know if I've mentioned this. I think at one point, we have buyers that sometimes come in and go like this. So where is the next new subdivision being built? So I can look at the 5 model homes, the 200 homes are going to be built at any minute now, right?" And we're like, "Man, that's not happening." So our buyers like made us call Jana, because they were convinced that Jana was going to tell them at any minute there was going to be brand new 3-bedroom, 2-bath houses, cookie cutter, the whole thing. And then Jana, tell them about what is actually being built, what's coming up in the Waikoloa Village.
Okay, there's a new subdivision that's going in, and it's down at Kila, and they're going from like 1,400,000 to say 2,200,000. So and there's only 10. There's only 10. Yeah.
Oh.
And let's see it. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think there's 5 left. So they're going pretty quickly, even at that. But yeah, that's the newest subdivision. It's really a cool location because it's a new Sunset Ridge and it's got magnificent views. It's going to be a lovely little neighborhood, but it is small. It's not like 2000, it's 10.
Yeah, yeah. So it's that, and then welcome to Hawaii, where we just don't have, hundreds of houses going up at the same time, which is making, of course, our wonderful island the wonderful place it is. And so slow to build. And then Lance, did you hear about what happened with that land giveaway in Waimea? I saw that in the news.
I've heard a little bit on it. I've actually reached out to somebody I know out there to see if I could get a little bit, inside information, although it's all pretty public, but I think there's more to the story, which is cool. I don't want to dive into what I think it might be, but but yeah, that's awesome that's happening. That's very cool.
Yeah. And just for those of you who don't know, I just kind of glanced through it. Somebody is donating the land and outside of Waimea, and that whether they want to build affordable housing there, right? Plus single family homes, plus
All
multi-generation
designated.
homes.
Yeah,
So
it's
almost like a mixed use community of homes, right? But to make it more affordable, they're basically donating the land. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And
So-
apparently, so you say, I think I know what it's about, but I've been gone so much I want to double check. But I think they had some experimental homes and stuff that they were going to be working on out there, and I don't.
Oh yeah, they said something about do-it-yourself homes or something. It made me kind of say, "What do-it-yourself homes?" And I was thinking that maybe they're finally saying, you know what, let's bring in some of these interesting modular homes or these different places that have like more of like environmental kind of. They come compact, and all you have to do is once they get off the ship, all you have to go quick, and they come out and they're done. They're done basically. I've seen some of those things repped. Yeah, where?
Just add water.
The whole thing just pops up. Yeah, but maybe one of these days we'll do a Zoom on different kinds of housing styles coming to Hawaii Island to try and help with the housing shortage. So, okay, is there anything else anybody wants to say? Okay.
Just to add on to Jana's, we got elite cottages coming in new here, right? Other than that, we don't have any, and they're at a 1.1 roughly, I think, and going up quickly.
Yeah. Is that the one? Okay. So then there's also, again, here we just having a little chatty chat. A guy named Ed Risposo. He's doing one that has like 5 or 6 homes.
Yeah, he's got another one down the road coming up also on the same street. And I'm not real familiar with Ed's places yet. I see them working out there. We did have a client talking to him about them, but I need to dig into that one by our next show.
Yeah, yeah. Because also I'm seeing like and Eric and I were just driving up on off of Walleye Road. It says 12 new homes are going to be built pretty quick on a chunk of land up in there too. So people are I see earth moving around Kona. That different these little housing pieces, not 200 houses going up, but maybe like 10, 12, 5. So a little more housing stock, but not too overbuilt. So again, when of these days maybe we'll have a whole show on new housing or something. So, but Andy, I like your idea of what's happening with the trends because it's heartening to see that they're more sustainable, long lasting, unique, cool than the whitewash. Here, let's work for this one. Let's do 40 more of those. We will wrap this up, you guys. We wish you all a very Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays, and we will see you in 2024. We have this scheduled. The next TTT, as we call it, is going to be on the 18th of January. So you guys pop back in. We will also be having Lance do his update on West Hawaii on the 11th, and Amber is scheduled for the 10th. And then we also have a mortgage update specifically with Joe Egan on the 9th. And like I said, we're going to try and get down to Andy and Jana's neighborhoods and do little fun little get in the car and drive around things in the first part of the year as well. So with that, we will say aloha and thank you all again for all the work that you've done to help promote home ownership and selling real estate in Hawaii during 2023. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, everyone. Great year.